What is up, Nuggets? It's your boy, Killer Pizza, here with a brand new video for you rascals and rapscallions out there. As you can see from the title, we have a good old-fashioned horror collection update video today, which is one of my very, very favorite kind of videos to make because who doesn't like a good mail day? Who doesn't like new physical media or putting new titles into their collections? So I think I have about 15 titles to show you guys, which is one of my biggest hauls of the whole year. So with that being said, let's get right into it. The first title I have is one I honestly don't know too much about. I'm not the biggest Giallo fan in the world, but I am a Dario Argento fan. That is Tenebrae. I don't know much about this movie at all. I do know that arm cutting scene where the girl gets her arm cut off with an axe, which is brutal. I've seen that clips for years and years. So I decided to finally pick this one up. I debated on getting the 4K, but that thing was literally like 40, 50 bucks. And yeah, I can't upgrade everything to 4K, and I'm not paying that for a 4K, so the Blu-ray will do just fine for me. Next, we have another one I don't know much about, but this is a Vestron video. Earth Girls Are Easy with what's this, Jim Carrey in here? Jim Carrey, Jeff Goldblum. So yeah, it's pretty hard not to pick up these Vestron titles because of how cheap they are. They run like $11 with the slip and everything, but yeah, this one looked like a lot of fun. I've heard a lot of good things, so I decided to finally pick it up. Next up, we have another Vestron title, My Best Friend is a Vampire. This is another one I've never seen before, and apparently it stars Uncle Bill from Dead Pit Radio. Doesn't that kind of look like Uncle Bill? But anyways, this seems more like a horror comedy, obviously, and I don't know, it just seemed like a lot of fun. Decided to pick this one up. If you've seen this one before, let me know in the comments what you think. Alright, and right after I got done saying about Tenebrae, I don't have to get the 4K. I mean, granted, I've never seen that movie. This one right here is an upgrade. This is the 4K of The Lost Boys. I've kind of decided that I'm only going to upgrade 4Ks to movies I obviously really, really like or stuff I think is going to pop really good. And I love The Lost Boys, and I held off on picking up this 4K for a while. And when I got it, it was only $15 on Amazon, which is a pretty good price for, you know, any 4K. And, you know, I heard a lot of people when this first came out, they were complaining about the artwork on the cover. I absolutely love this artwork. I think this is amazing. But yeah, I'm excited to check this one out in 4K. Shout out to my my boy Sean. This is his favorite movie of all time, and I really do love this one. I revisited it about like a year ago, and I really liked it, really enjoyed it. It wasn't one of my favorites growing up, but it's grown on me enough so that I had to pick up the 4K and upgrade. Now we have one that was talked about when it first came out from Arrow Video that a lot of people said really, really sucked, and that's Lover's Lane. But I don't know, guys. I've been kind of on this 90s horror kick lately. I've just been really enjoying a lot of horror flicks from the 90s. So, you know, maybe it's just the nostalgia. That's the time I kind of grew up. So I figured I'd give this one a shot. Plus, you know, you can't go wrong with the slip, you know. And Arrow Video has been pretty good for me lately. I just recently finally watched Hell High, and that movie blew my mind how good that was. Not saying this will be the same, but I kind of knew deep down I could still get the slip with this. And like I said, the 90s nostalgia, I decided to pick this one up because, I mean, there's a lot of these 90s horror flicks I think are bad, but they have kind of a charm to them. So that's what I'm banking on for this one. And next, this is, I don't know why I picked this one up. I think I just had a little extra money to pick up some physical media, so I finally decided to pick up Elvira's Haunted Hills. Now, is this the second one, or this is the one from 85 or 90? I'm not even sure. I think this might be the original. I don't know. I'm not sure. I know she has two movies, but for some reason they put this in the hard shell, like the Creepshow edition that came out. That's kind of weird that those are the only two they did that with. I wish Scream Factory would do that way more. I think if we got some of these 4Ks in a hard shell, but I don't know. I thought it'd be fun to go revisit some of these old Elvira movies. I know I have the other one on DVD, so I decided to pick this one up on Blu-ray. Alright, and here is one that came out recently that is really fucked up. This one had a reputation for the longest time. There's 3 movies in this series. That is August Underground. Now, I've seen screenshots of this, as you can see from the back. Absolutely vicious shit. You know, I believe this was like, a lot of people thought this was a real snuff tape when it came out. It's kind of like a shot on camera, like a camcorder, like following the serial killer, bringing people around. I mean, going around stalking people, killing them, torturing people in his basement. This is a really fucked up movie. But sometimes you got to push yourself to the limit as a horror fan, you know, because I've seen so many horror movies that sometimes you just got to be like, all right, especially when people are talking like, oh, it's so bad, I can't watch it. It's like, okay, let me see what this is all about. Because, I mean, unless there's like animal cruelty in a movie, which that's like some of the only shit you'll see in a horror movie that's actually real, like actually killing animals and shit. If I know it's fake, for the most part, it's not going to bother me. I mean, it might, the context of the movie might kind of get to me a little bit, but visually, it won't bother me too bad knowing that it's not real. And, you know, I'm kind of glad I checked this one out because, like, you know, from an artistic standpoint, like, let's see how far you can take it with horror. And, you know, I will say, I'm glad I checked this one out. Will I rewatch this? Am I looking forward to rewatching this anytime soon? Probably not. This might be a one and done unless I was to show it to somebody else because it was pretty extreme. But, you know, some of the shit's needed in the horror genre. You know, if we're going to have horror comedies, we got to take it the other way, too. And speaking of that, I almost debated on not showing you guys this movie because I don't want you guys to judge me about this. But this is one that has probably one of the worst reputations in horror of one of the most fucked up movies ever. And I know what the plot is about. I've watched some synopsises on it. And I finally picked it up, and that is Serbian film. So if you know, you know this the context of this movie, what happens is one of the more fucked up horror films ever made. And to be quite honest, once I received this, I almost felt dirty opening this in the mail. You know what I mean? And I don't know if I'll ever even actually watch this. I've owned Necromantic 1 and 2 for 3-4 years now. They're still sitting on my shelf unopened. I don't know when or where I'm going to check this movie out. Eventually, when the time is right, I'm going to see what the fuck this one's all about and how crazy it actually is. Let me know if you guys have seen August Underground or Serbian film, like the two of the most fucked up movies back to back, you know. All right, and bring it back a little more lighthearted here. We got the 4K of Piranha. This came out a long time ago from Scream Factory, one of the first 4Ks they put out. I finally picked it up, a Joe Dante film. I never knew anything about this growing up, but I figured I can't go wrong with this title. Finally grabbed it. All right, and as you guys see from my Motor City Nightmares haul, I picked up Scanners 2 and 3 combo. So I finally picked up the Criterion of Scanners, the original. And this is just a beautiful release right here. That's so crazy looking. You know, we all know the story of Scanners. These people that are born as the Scanners, they have this mental power where they can like control shit like telekinesis or whatever. Shit like that. I don't know if I've actually ever seen this before. I've seen the head explosion scene, the gif of that 1,000 times. I think that's worth getting it alone. But Criterion, not my favorite label, but they always put out really, really high quality shit. They always come off as like the ritzy label, you know, like Criterion. But Scanners. And here's another one that I showed in my video last week. That is Horror Workout. If you want to see more about this, I do a complete breakdown of this movie in a video I put out last weekend. Check it out. Can't go wrong with Linnea Quigley. Now, the final 4 titles, I did not pre-order these. I low-key wish I would have gotten those alternate slips. I got them for the first 3, but I'm not trying to get 8 Chucky posters and have leftover sleeves that I don't need. So I picked up the 4 new Chucky 4Ks, Bride of Chucky. I actually just watched this last night, and it looked amazing. This wasn't one of my favorites growing up. I've always been a 1, 2, 3 kind of guy, but this one looked amazing in 4K, and it's got that late 90s, early 2000s kind of feel to it, and this thing is just a gem. This movie, you know, I really enjoyed watching this last night. Looked great. And I was almost disappointed that I watched that because I knew I would have to watch Seed of Chucky next. And I know what you guys are thinking, you could just skip that and you don't have to watch it, but I want to watch all these 4Ks, and I'm weird like that. Anybody else like that where you need to watch them in order? So I'm hoping that with Redman in it and Jennifer Tilly and kind of like what 2003, 2004 might be a little nostalgic for the early 2000s feel. So yeah, I'm going to give this one another shot. And then we have Curse of Chucky, and this has Brad Dourif's daughter in it. What's her name? Fiona. I loved her in this movie and Cult. Absolutely amazing. And this kind of takes it back to the dark side of Chucky. I absolutely love this. I think I've only seen it one time when it first came out. I'm excited to check this out in 4K. Yeah, really, really love this one. This one was great. Very suspenseful, very spooky, scary stuff. And last but not least, we have Cult of Chucky. Now, I know a lot of people shit on this one compared to Curse. I will definitely say Curse of Chucky is better than Cult of Chucky. But this one's a lot of fun where Fiona kind of goes into a mental institution like people tend to do when they tell people a talking doll is a murderer trying to get them. And it takes place in this mental hospital, and this is where we get how the fuck can I not remember the fucking maker of this movie? Fucking Don Mancini's original idea of having an army of Chuckies. I think he wanted to do that in part 2. We get a little taste of that in Cult of Chucky. So this one was a lot of fun from what I remember. There was like a really cool like scene where the glass fell down on this girl and killed her while she's in the table. That was always pretty badass. But yeah, I'm excited to check all of these out. And it's funny, does anybody else alphabetize all their movies? Everything I have is in alphabetical order, but this is one of the first times I broke that streak because I got all the Child's Play 4Ks next to it, and Bride of Chucky, Seed, all these aren't going to be alphabetical next to them, but I just had to put them right next to them. It just looks too good. Just like I think I'll put Rambo next to First Blood. Some movies got to be next to each other. I think like Night of the Living Dead, Day of the Dead, Dawn of the Dead, those could be separated, and it won't be no big deal. But anyways, that's my weird quirk right there. Let me know your collecting habits, how you organize your shit on your shelf. Which you can tell my shelf is still somewhat empty because I had the bright idea like 3 weeks ago to do my entire Scream Factory collection, and I took them all off my shelves to show them. And my lazy ass still hasn't put these back. They're sitting right next to me. Stacks of movies everywhere. So the day this releases, I'm recording this on a Friday before work. So maybe Sunday I will, because I wrestle Saturday for Super Shogun Wrestling, maybe Sunday I'll get everything reorganized. But anyways, that is it. That is my 15 titles I picked up. Let me know if you guys have any of these in your collection. Let me know what you think of the films I showed you guys. If you got any questions, let me know. Any suggestions of physical media titles you guys think I should pick up in the future, let me know in the comments. Like, comment, share, subscribe, all that fun jazz if you like. I just appreciate you watching the video in the first place. But other than that, hopefully everybody's having a spooky Sunday. Blood Gut Score. I will check you guys next time.